this is a shrimp that I was put on to by one of my good friends, Pete Bucky. He fishes a lot of the same rivers that I do, and it faces a lot of the same challenges in quite often the clear water. Wild fish that have seen a lot, they have a lot of natural food to go at, so this is a fly that looks to try and fool even the most sort of foolhardy fish. I've coined the name just to suit the material that it's tied with as the dirty bug shrimp, but to be honest, it really is Pete Bucky's fly, to call it as he wishes. But here we have it. We've got the Partridge K4AY hook, which is a standard shrimp hook, size 10, but you can tie these right down to an 18 if you want. Lead wire to create the weight and the shape of the fly. So we're going to do a full length lead underbody. So winding that all the way around. So whenever you're doing a full lead under wrap, you don't need to start where you want the wire to start, which is back here somewhere. You can get plenty of turns in, because if we start back here, then we're trying to navigate out the way of the point of the hook. We can put our turns and then just work the lead into position and then carry on our turns all the way to the front. Use our thumbnail, pinch that out, and then we're going to go in with a half length of lead. Again, just there. Rotate that out against the thumbnail. Make sure everything's nice and neat before we start placing our thread down. So for this particular fly, we're going with the Semperfli waxed thread in orange again. This is the 12-0, and start by the eye of the hook and place a few thread turns on. Keep that tag end nice and long, and nice unpressured turns over the wire to help bind it in place. Second buttress at the back. Trim the tag end of thread out, and nice open crisscrossing turns going forward to lay everything in place there. And now we're going to start to tie in the materials we need for the body. So for this particular shrimp we have a rib, so we've got copper wire, just 1 mil thick. No need to go much thicker than that, because we're just looking to have it in there as an added bit of texture to the fly. So to tie it in, the nice thing with wire is obviously it's a stiff material, so you can place it in really quite short against the shank of the hook and just allow the thread to catch it in there. Then where this particular fly gets its name from is using the Semperfli dirty bug yarn, which is a 2-strand yarn. This particular one, the colour is called Danica, which is a nice sort of olivey yellow, pale olive yellowy colour, which is great for this particular fly. The material is a 2-strand blend, so actually we want to let it unravel a little bit when we're actually tying it in, but strap it in there and tie it up, allow it to help us create that back taper already. So that's trapped in place. Now we're going to add in a sort of unseen material to this fly, but when the fly is wet, it helps change its dynamic in the water and adds an extra element to its fish catching ability, really. So here we've got the Fluoro Brite by Semperfli. The number's orange, number 7, and that's going to, hopefully when the fly is wet, it will stand out through our original, through our body material, and add little glints of hotspot and interest to the fish that are looking at it. So tie that in and take our thread forwards, and at this point, just to make life easier for us all, we just whip finish, do a quick whip finish of our thread and nip it out. So that's now out the way, not doing, and we're going to take our floss material and do a touching turn body, and it's a nice vivid orange, and we can use it to help build the taper over the wire. Try and hide as much wire as possible, but not to worry if there's still some glinting through, because the yarn will cover up a lot of that as we go. So take it forward, leave a little bit free, otherwise it can make the fly quite bulky, and do another quick whip finish of that. There's no need to do the double whip finish of that because we're going to tie over the top of it anyway. Then before we do anything else, we want to start our thread again. Position the hook back a little bit and take that in. Right, now we've got the dirty bug yarn, and I'm just twisting it to open out those 2 strands so they'll lie flat, so it won't go on as one single strand, it will now go on as 2 strands side by side. So you'll see them there. So it'll lay much flatter and stop us building up any unnecessary bulk to the fly. And by doing that, it also means that more of that hot orange floss will stand out through the fly. You'll find as you wind that it will tighten back up, so you might need to just untwist it as you go. It's giving you a nice buggy appearance. Take it forward, and then when you're at the front, take it up so you can run your thread through there. Second time, and then you're going to do your locking turns in front. Oh, obviously I haven't rocked that far enough back. So, locking turns in front, grab our hook, reposition it a bit further back, and take those fibres out. A few straggly bits. Right, now with our rib, we can just wind through yarn in the same direction. Because we're putting large open turns, you'll find that the rib will stand out in parts and it will dig in others, so you'll get variation of some turns will be really quite visible and others will be quite hidden, which is great. We don't need a bold rib on this particular fly. So we've put a few turns behind and in front of the wire, rotate it round to cut it out. No need to cut it with scissors, and that is all the parts that we need to do with our thread. So we can go in with the whip finish tool and finish that off properly. But we're not quite finished there yet. So we've got our fly looking bug-like, but now we're going with our Sharpie permanent marker, and if you've got a rotating vise, this is where you want to rotate it so the back of the fly is towards you, and we're just going to colour up the back of the fly. So if you've not coloured up a fly before, if you take it all in one direction, you'll only capture some of the fly. So you want to work it in multiple directions to make sure that you've got a good covering to colour the fly up as you wish. So that gives you your shrimp back without actually having to tie any additional materials in. And there you have it. So you've got dark on the top and your light underneath there. And right there, the dirty bug shrimp, that's great again in clear water. There's lots of different yarn colours, so if you know that you've got a sort of orangey shrimp in your system, pick a more orangey colour. You know that you've got an almost slate grey colour, then go more down that route. But also if you know the fish you're targeting, hone in on pinks and pick a colour like that. So a really simple buggy shrimp pattern to tie, and it will really capture in lots of different situations.